hate to see you go, but we know you have to move on to that next chapter. But you'll always be with us. You'll always be remembered, and we need to stay in touch because there's a lot we got to work for here in the coming years. So
yeah, don't worry. I'm keeping your cell phone number.
yes,
I'll be in touch.
we will be calling.
Love you, Mary.
Hi. I have to say that I am standing in, I invited 400 people here today. Because I know that you probably get about 10% of people to show up. But what I would notice in this room is that the people in this room are the people who always show up. Yay! And so I want to thank you all for being here and being here for me. I wish that Jason were here, but he is in his work pajamas at the house we're staying at right now. He's just taking it easy. This is tough. This is tough. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to ask, because I know that there are people who would like to talk, and I'm going to ask people who actually have some business to talk about to talk first. I know Christine is going to talk. I'm going to ask Tia LeBrun to talk. In 2022, I met Tia LeBrun at a coffee shop at Jet Coffee because the Democratic Party told me she might want to run for office. And I'll just tell you right now, she might want to run for office again. In 2020, during the pandemic, Jason had just been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And this young man called me up on the phone from Lake Charles and said, hey, you managed Mimi Methvin's campaign. And I really would like to talk to you. So Dustin Granger came over to my house in this natty brown suit. And we sat in these old chairs in my backyard because I wouldn't let him in the house. And he got up and the whole back of his pants and his jacket were white from the chair. But he came and sat in the backyard with me and talked for a long, long time. And I have met all of you. I have to look around and say, either through advocacy or through politics and just doing this good work. And I thank all of you. And I'm going to still send my weekly emails. I will probably phase out of the weekly emails. I'm going to ask Dr. Samika Minor to take over those emails.
Thank you.
And I want organizers to meet Samika. So make sure you talk to Samika today because she's interested in being more involved, and she is a policy analyst at VOTE, Voices of the Experienced. Rubia and Bernard dove in with a listserv, and they are now doing emergency call text messages. So if your number was on my list, then you get text messages from them. They won't bomb you with text messages and nobody can respond. So that is a really helpful thing. So I'm kind of looking around the room. Eric and Shannon are Dustin devotees, or maybe Dustin is an Eric and Shannon devotee. Yes. In Lake Charles, Jackson Voss I met here, but he is a really great activist in the state. I've known Jeannie since I was 30 years old because Jeannie worked with my mother in animal rescue. So all these different advocates, a lot of DPEC members. Butch helped me sell my house. He's probably my newest friend in this room. Wonderful Winnie, who had the postcard parties at her house with Mimi's campaign and really got that going. Rubia and Bernard took it and ran with it, moving forward. And so there are postcard opportunities that are going on right now. Recently met Amanda's my second newest friend, maybe Amanda, maybe Jay and Bud. I play pétanque with Mike and Angie, and some people get together. We get together for dinner, and Peggy, Scott LeBlue, and Helen. So I'm John and Pat Irons. The last salon we had, we talked about how our faith or our spirituality leads our activism. And Sally, I met Sally when I first moved here, and she gave me a lot of confidence to stand up to people in Lafayette and tell people what I'm good at. So we have people, we have Matthew who can't stop. He's knocked on as many doors as me. And then now doing the organizing. Deb Waldman helps me find jobs and tells me how to organize. I could just go on, and I think that the work you all do is phenomenal, and just keep on doing it. My address, my new address, and my phone number are on the whiteboard in the back if you want it. And my phone number is not new. Most of you have that number, but I did have another number, but I had a young client who was kind of stalking me on my phone, so I changed my number. So, yeah. Rachel at Share House. So we have just, this is a great group of people from all different parts of advocacy and policy. So I am going to invite Christine. Would you come up first, and then hand it to Tia, hand it to Dustin. Anybody else who wants to talk? You have to. You're on your own.
I'm gonna have to read. I have some handouts, but I doubt if I have enough for everybody. I'm just gonna take the same information and just put it on Ladies Leaning Left. One of the things you might want to look at is red, wine, and blue. They are holding monthly Zoom sessions on anti-project 2025 issues. And I'll just give you briefly one of the things they talked about. Dr. Erica Chenowitz, if 3.5, it's a 3.5% rule. If 3.5% of the population rises up in sustained nonviolent resistance, it can change everything. So please check out Dr. Erica Chenowitz and the 3.5% rule. Second thing, talking about postcards to swing states. The Progressive Turnout Project is asking for people to sign up to write news boosting postcards to Virginia. So they're trying this out to see if it's going to work. They're going to put things like Virginia will lose so many people will lose Medicaid in Virginia, or some other issues that is interesting to the people in Virginia, and they're going to test it out and they're going to see if it works. If it works, then we're going to be doing it in a lot of other places. And that's postcards to swing states. And I wanted to see at Unitarian Universalist, we were writing cards as well as at Winnie's house, if people are interested in writing postcards to Virginia and other swings. If you are kind of, yes, some people are? Yeah. Some people are? Okay, cool, cool. Yes, y'all are? Okay, cool. And what I'll do is Diane Kursky couldn't be here. Her one of her relatives is ill and in the hospital, but Diane's going to help me write a grant. UUA, Unitarian Universalist Association, has a grant for postage, because postage is going up again. Yeah. It is in the summer. Yep. Also talking about the Unitarian Universalists, we have a book club July 26th at Cavalier. It used to be Sans Souci bookstore, now it's Cavalier Books on Jefferson Street. The UU Common Read for 2025 is Authentic Selves, celebrating trans and non-binary people and their families. The book explores the lives of trans and non-binary people through interviews, photo portraits depicting their challenges, joys, and networks of support. I don't know what that is. Anyway, we'll be hosting this. We are asking people to buy the book. It costs $25. If you're interested, check with me. We have only 3 copies left. Thank you. And I'll pass these out, and if you want it, you can, yes, you can take these. Otherwise, I will put it on Ladies Leaning Left on the Facebook page.
Send it to me.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Thank you, Christine. Hi, everybody. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, some of you know me already from the campaign in 2022, where Mary was my very overwhelmed volunteer campaign manager because I had very little money to start out with. Well, I'm going to run again. In 2026, I'll run against Kuyan Clay one more time. See if we can get him out of office, because he doesn't care about Louisiana. He has shown through his record that he does not vote in the way that would help the most people in Louisiana. He's just a MAGA Republican follower. So we need someone who's going to get out there and use what they can do, use their votes to better the regular people in Louisiana.
And who is thoughtful and intelligent.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been a public educator now for over 20 years, and I'm working on a doctorate in second language instruction. So this immigration issue is kind of close too, because I taught a lot of those kids who come here and they can't quite speak English very well yet, but their parents are out working to harvest all of our foods at the different farms that we have in Louisiana. So I know that they are valuable. The farmers know that they're valuable. And we need to overhaul the immigration system to make it to where it's not going to become this huge hot button issue anymore. We need to throw all of the money that they threw at ICE into the judiciary so that they can hear those cases that are backlogged for generations. So the insurance costs of living in Louisiana are also a problem. And we need to have some federal and state collaboration to figure out how we can make it affordable to own a home here below I-10. So I was one of those people that right whenever the hike happened a few years ago, I thought I might need to sell my home. And I called Dustin about it, actually. I was like, I might need to get out of this thing because this is just too much. So how are our young families going to be able to buy a house? Our tax system is a problem. And now it's gotten even worse with this OBBB. Our people who are earning $50,000 or less don't need to pay taxes. That really hurts their bottom line. We are living in a time where we don't have living wages. We need to increase those wages, lower the insurance costs, and find some way where the tax system will work for regular people so that they are not in survival mode. They can explore their genius and make the world a better place. And I'm hoping to contribute something to that. And so I hope that you will contribute to this endeavor. Today, as of today, I have a donation link or a contribution link live on my website, which is Lebrun, LEBRUN, the number 4, LA.com. And you can go on there and support. I don't have the newsletters up yet, but they will be soon. There is a space where you can enter your name and email to start getting those as soon as I'm back up and running. So as soon as I've got the funds to do that, I'll be in touch, at least monthly, to make sure that you guys know where we're at as a campaign moving forward and what issues I'm hearing from people when I go out to meetings like this, where people are sharing what they're most worried about, what they care about, and how we can help.
And
So,
how much do you need right now to help you get started?
oh gosh. Well, just to relaunch newsletters is about $400 to $600, depending on the number of people I can email. So that amount would probably be a good enough to start just to get that. And I have to update my business card with the new email for the website. So that's only like $40.
Who's your campaign fundraiser, finance person?
Okay,
Yeah,
I am the campaign right now.
Right,
If anybody is willing to volunteer, send an email on the website. They have a contact us page that has
You need to get a finance person.
I do, but you know what? I've done I have done all of my financial reporting since I started in 2022.
No, I mean to get you money in.
Oh yeah, a fundraiser would be great. I had Drew last time, which was very helpful to throw events, but even events in your living room can help bring in funds.
Yes,
So
I did one last time. Do it
Yes.
again. Y'all sign up to do events.
yeah, you can volunteer to host an event, to write postcards too, to just introduce.
But
the
Clay has
public
lots
to me.
and lots of money. She needs to get real money in because real money wins campaigns.
That's right.
I know Mike did it a lot, and he raised some money, but it's not enough.
Right, but this time it is a little different too, because in Louisiana, we have a closed primary starting next year. So we will be voting for one Republican to be on the ticket and one Democrat to be on the ticket.
Hallelujah.
And the other parties have to like jump through several hoops to get their name on the ballot. So it may just be me and him. And I think that that really will help, because last time there were 9 names on that ballot. 4 of them were Republicans, 2 of them said they were Democrat, a couple of independents and a libertarian. How do you know who all of these names are?
We may have to do an
You know?
intervention with the state party.
Well, from what I hear, state party will be a little bit better this time around. They really weren't any help last time. And I'll be honest, they weren't. It was faces that I see in here right now, especially Mary's, who helped me all around the state. But hopefully this year, with the new maps that we have right now, my hometown of Houma is included, which is really cool. I'll get to go there and be at families' houses and introduce myself to people. So that's a new area that has a whole lot of registered voters that is now within this district. And we just have to share everywhere. I remember that there was a really great lady who was once in Louisiana and she lives in Los Angeles now. She did a walkathon in my name in California and raised about $400 for me. You know, that kind of thing will help. If we reach out to other families we have outside of the state, friends that we have that we know want to see something different, people who have left because there's no opportunity here. Let them know they have a chance to contribute right now. And we might have a real chance if all of us come together, no matter how many dollars he has. So,
Question.
yes.
So I'm a firm believer in the 80-20 rule. 80% of our returns will come from 20% of our effort if we're focused. So a big thing that would really help is, who shall we focus on who would be financial supporters? Because we are dealing with a very small guy who is a bully, who has billionaires and millionaires supporting him. So
Yeah.
we need to focus on who has a vested interest with money, who would support the campus.
Yeah, we do. As a public school teacher, I don't know very many millionaires.
That's why I think she needs a finance person.
But I
You can
do.
focus on that.
I know that other people out there know people with money who can help. And even the $25, $50 a month that some people were sending me adds up, especially if I'm starting now. If I'm starting now, I'm not paying for media yet. I will be paying for the website newsletter system, business cards, and a couple of t-shirts. That is less than $1,000. So for about $1,000, I could be up and running and just save everything until it's time to get out there and put my face on signs or whatever we need to do. So your $5 a month, your $2, like the bar back at one of the events I went to could afford, will help it move the campaign a little bit forward. And everyone will have their voice heard instead of just getting that generic form back from Clay Higgins every time you email him about something that, oh, I understand, or I hear you, but I support the president. That's not what we need, is blind devotion. We need people to see what's going on in our lives.
So how do you do that? That is, yes, I agree with you 100%. And how do I get people to understand what's going on? I mean, I do what I can, substacking and YouTubing or whatever, but efficiently, effectively, how does it happen that people who have been blinded see?
You're not gonna change those blind.
You're not going to change some of them, but according to the studies that I've done, that's only 30% of people.
Yeah.
So if you talk to 10 people, 3 of them might not hear you, 3 of them might act like they don't give a care what you just said, and the rest of them might start to question. So every 10 people you talk to, 7 of them have an opportunity to change their mind
In both.
and vote.
Voting is the biggest.
Yes,
voting is
we
the
have to
biggest.
help register people to vote.
Well, they're registered, they're not going to the polls.
Well, we need avenues for them to get to the polls too, and that's like, I think that part of this is going to be influencing states to make that day that you vote an official day off for people.
Yes.
Part of it has to come from local people where they're saying we need a free bus to the polls from several neighborhoods.
Yes.
That
told us
kind of
though
thing-
they've told us no before, but this mayor may be more open to it.
Right,
We've
so
worked on that before.
that's something local that the federal level can't help with. But at the federal level, I hope to put back funding for the free public education that we all need our kids to be able to have, and to really help affect the disaster mitigation and taxation policies that we have.
And I think that we need to use this BBB against them.
Yes.
Because to show our constituents how disastrous it is for our residents, because it's affecting the poorest people in our state that are voting for Clay Higgins. So it's to use that ammunition against him and say, you voted for this affects us like this. We really have to use what they did against them. That's the weapon we need.
And if you're talking to a MAGA, ask them about it, the Epstein file.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's cracking them. They are so divided on that.
They are. But
With Elon too,
Yeah,
she's right.
it's if you want to get through, they are divided on this. Okay, this is our moment, right?
I
And
think
it's our
we
issue.
need a clear, precise narrative that we all are on board with, that we just put out there that people can easily understand. That people can hear and they're like, that affects me, that has something to do with me. I don't know what it is, but I think that we need to gain the narrative back. And I don't think taxing the rich,
working on that.
I don't think taxing the rich is it. I think it needs to be more about helping the average citizen.
Well, I think one of my favorite things that Mary laughed about for months whenever we went to the Rice Festival, I ran into Clay supporters, and I was able to have really good conversations with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way I leaned into that was, well, that's great that you love him so much. If you vote for me, you'll get to see him more often. So that is a way in, that is a way in. Even in your conversations, well, if you vote for somebody else, he'll be home more often. Maybe he could do another TV show. Hey. Yeah. So go in lightly.
Yeah, non-confrontationally.
Yeah, but I think that people can hear you. Mm-hmm. It is worrisome whenever you get into these conversations. But if we're not brave enough to do it, nobody's going to be standing up for the next group of people that are oppressed and tortured or deported. So thank you.
Hey, everybody. I can talk? Okay. I didn't know for sure. Hey everybody, I'm Dustin Granger. I know a lot of y'all. I ran for Louisiana State Treasurer in 2023. Came up a little bit short, but I think we're used to that as Democrats. But I want to talk about my relationship with Mary. First, I want to talk about Tia. I think she's a great candidate. I worked a lot with her the last time she ran, and I really think there's an opportunity here with the closed primaries. I think we're underestimating that a little bit. I know as a candidate, because I've run for state senate and statewide, I know it's really hard for Democrats to gain attention when there's a big crowd, you know, and so we have a chance to, of course, get her past the primary. So she may have some other opponents that are Democrats. So I think it's up to us if we really think she's a great candidate that we help get her across that finish line. Because whenever we do, it opens up a lot of opportunities because then the media sees that there's two candidates, one-on-one. Clay Higgins can't run from it. You know, when there's a big crowd, he could just act like he's the only guy and not pay attention to anybody. But when there's two, one Democrat, one Republican, I think there's a chance at more media attention. I think it's easier to fundraise as well, because when you're running with a big crowd and you're a Democrat, it's easy to blow you off, and people don't really give you money early or later when you really need it. And so that gives her like a good runway of 5 or 6 months to actually run a real campaign against him and raise money. And I think if you can't give money, well, do that and try to get her in front of people. Even some independents. You know, the MAGA people, you know, maybe not so much mess with them if they're full-blown MAGA, but if there's any chance at all, get her in front of a group of 10 or 20 people whenever you can, because that can spread really easily. And share her posts on social. Like, we just need to reach as many people as we can because things are changing. We still have a lot we're up against right now before MAGA really goes down. It will happen eventually, but now the cracks are starting to appear. So now's the chance for persuasion.
Right.
So very thankful to hear Tia run, and thank you again for stepping up.
Well, Dustin, the good thing about the primaries, and it really is true, that the media had before a funding floor that you had to reach before they'd cover you.
Right.
Right? Would you talk about that? Tell them about that.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about it. A lot of times they just don't even take you seriously.
Well,
They don't
you
write
would
about
have to reach a certain level of funding before they would cover you. Before
Yeah.
you would be considered by the media to be a viable candidate. Before they would, and before you would be invited to debates and all of that.
And
So
they'll-
with
and
only
they'll straight
two
up say
candidates,
that.
right?
They'll say that in
Oh,
their
yeah.
news article. Like
It's
when
their
they bring up
policy.
when they bring up campaigns, they'll say so and so raised this, so and so raised this, and then they'll just leave. If you're below, you know, $20,000
cover
mark or something, they won't even talk
Have
about
you?
you.
But y'all, I mean, it is really. The party just did mess up. We have another Republican running again because the party just did screw up the qualifications
Right.
for another Democratic candidate, and no one got to qualify.
Right.
So I mean, it is the most important thing before money or anything else that y'all get through the state Dems who are working against us.
Well, that's another. I'm now a part.
Even the new party.
I'm now a part of the state Democratic Party, so I'm the treasurer of, and we got a lot of problems. You know, it's hard. There's
You
a
guys
lot of,
just, you know what I'm
there's a lot
talking
of
about.
conflict there. So we're working past that. I think we've.
I know, I was
made
with the
some-
party and I won't have anything to do with it anymore.
I don't blame you. Every day I'm in there, I'm like, why did I even get involved? But you know, you just got to do it.
But that's the most important thing, you know?
And there's a lot of great people that, especially, I don't know a lot of the people that were there before this term, which we started about a year ago, but there's a lot of great people there trying to make movement. So I do think it'll come. I'm hoping we'll see more of it, but I can't sit here and say like, oh, Democratic Party's changed.
I'm not asking for that,
You know what
just
I mean?
asking
It's-
that you get Tia in front of them
Yes.
sooner rather than later.
Definitely. Yeah, and that definitely is happening right now. And I think the closed primaries allows us to do that in an easier way, in a better way.
Do
But-
you think we can harness the energy that we had to defeat those amendments? Because that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that to me gave me some hope.
Yeah, me too.
Seeing how we came, like, there was a,
Can we continue that?
right.
We defeated it twice.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's
We
what
got-
twice.
Get the
Like
state
we-
party out of the way, we got
It
it
just
passed.
shows, and that was pretty grassroots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the way it was snowballing, like it gave me some hope, and it was like bipartisan too. Like these were MAGA bills that were rejected even by MAGA. You know, so there's some hope there, and I think yes, we have to try to do the same thing because we built a great coalition with that, and I think that's something we can build on. But I do want to talk about Mary because I mean we're gonna miss her so much.
Yes.
She mentioned the first time she met me because I wanted to talk about that too. Because so I started getting involved in politics when Donald Trump got elected. I've always been interested in politics and talking with friends and stuff, but I knew when he got elected, I was like, I need to start doing something. So I started helping people locally in Lake Charles and some judges' races and stuff, and met some people in that area. But it wasn't until January 6th of 2021 when Clay Higgins came in. It was his tweet that said it would be the end of America as we know it if Biden got elected. And it was the very beginning of them denying the election. And I decided right there that I was going to run against Clay Higgins. So I started a campaign against Clay Higgins. Now, most people don't realize, like I did start running and it was 2 years out till the next campaign, so I was going to start early. And I later got sidetracked to a special election in Lake Charles for state senate, so I had left that campaign, so I never finished it. But whenever I declared, I started calling some friends. I'm like, you know, how do I get started? Who do I talk to? You know, Lafayette. And Mary Pritchard's name came up. You know, everybody's like, you gotta talk to Mary Pritchard. Mary Pritchard she's the one you gotta talk to. So I was like excited, nervous when I went to her house, and you know, I was in my suit and you know, had my pad ready to take notes, and we sat in the backyard, and I was just sitting there in the chair, and she came and was just like, all right, give me your elevator speech. And I'm like, I was just sweating bullets. I'm like, I don't know if I have that yet. I just started, and so I like said something. She's like, that's pretty good. And then she's like, well, I reviewed your social media. I was like, oh. She's like, and it was very good. I was like, that's the test there. But she proceeded to, you know, she gave me a lot of real talk, like almost talking me out of it. Like, do you realize how hard this is going to be? And, you know, I was writing notes furiously. I wrote out of 5 pages of notes. And the most valuable thing, too, was just all the names that she was giving me across the state. So I'm just writing names, just chicken scratch. I remember I had to look for weeks after that. I'm like, who are these people? And I had to get with her, you know. But I always remember that. I still think of that moment just every now and then. Just that was the genesis of it. And you were the first one that was there for me in support, and have always kept that. You know, you've always been like a big sister to me. You know, just in the way you support everybody that you come in contact with that are trying to do good. You just bring us all together, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room feel the same way, that you are kind of a sister to a lot of us. So we're gonna miss you a lot, but I know that you'll be back to visit us, and I know that we can always reach out to you, and you'll welcome us with open arms. So thank you for all that you do.
Else has something to say about the room, about the salon.
I want to talk about Mary.
About Mary Pritchard. Come on up. We're going to stand behind you and take the fondant off the cake because we'd like to cut this cake before everybody
Who else wants to
leaves.
talk about me? Now you want
I can do it from here. I want to know if I can call you and ask you who to vote for and how to vote on all these elections that I don't know people.
Absolutely, for at least a year. For at least a year.
I'm going to call you for 2 years.
Well, I'm going to talk about Mary from here because I remember that time that was that shortly after we met?
Yeah.
It was at a DPEC meeting, and it was at a time when we had so many people on the DPEC who were really not Democrats, right? They were on the DPEC as
They were trial attorneys.
they were trial attorneys, and they were They were subverting the Democratic Party. Right? Yeah. They refused, they were pissed at me because I used the word progressive, because they told me that the word progressive was actually code for what? Abortion? Abortion. That every time somebody used the word progressive, they heard abortion. I'm like, what? Yeah, so that, yeah, it was a trial attorney, someone we all know and love, not gonna say any names. But I couldn't get him off the board. There were 2 trial attorneys on there at the time. And Mary had just moved to town, and she had, I don't know where, I think Mike must have told me about her precinct organizing experience. Mike Stagg, my former husband and partner. But, and I thought highly of Mike's opinion of people. And he told me that Mary knew all there was to know about precinct organizing, which was something that we were not doing in Lafayette at the time, right? But was something that was sorely needed, right? So, Mary, you started talking about precinct organizing and how to do it, and this attorney jumped on
Took me
you.
on.
Huh?
And he asked me why did you qualify to do this work?
Right, he started talking to her like the girl you send for coffee. Right, and Mary had just come in from Colorado, where she had established this very good reputation. And this person whom I knew, who had a very good reputation, who believed, as I believe, that you never let a seat run unchallenged by a Democrat, which is something that the state party still doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Okay? The Republicans will run a dog or a goldfish, but we won't. Our qualifications are so high that St. Peter will challenge them. Okay? Anyway, Mike had told me how good Mary was, and this fool who's on there to subvert the Democratic Party was challenging her. So we had to set him straight. But since then, immediately what happened after that, you went to the state party, and didn't they give you some money? Or they sent you around, they gave you a contract?
They didn't give me a contract, no, I actually did that on my own.
Okay, tell them what
But
you
the
did.
DPAC helped, the DPAC.
Tell them what you did and what we did, helped you do.
So the DPAC.
Because this is cool.
So there's a really good database called the Vote Builder that the Democratic Party owns, and they sell it to the state parties, and then you can buy it from the state party.
One of the
And-
first things she did in Lafayette.
And in Lafayette, so I started doing precinct organizing in Lafayette, and then Trump won his first election, and everybody asked me to come. And so I did precinct organizing training in central Louisiana. I went to Ruston, to Shreveport, to Monroe. I did different parish DPACs. I went
The
to all the
DPEC would reach out to
DPACs.
her because her reputation spread, because our DPEC,
Yeah, because we'd already been doing precinct organizing in Lafayette Parish,
through Mary.
and we also, and then I also ran for the DPAC.
That's right.
And I got on the
Then we
DPAC.
got Mary on the DPEC.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so that's how she got started in here, and that was my first interaction with her, was to defend her from this attorney. Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon,
I
everyone.
went to St. Mary Parish too.
Right. I am Woodrow J. Parker. I'm your co-chair of the 3rd Congressional Caucus and also DSCC BC on the 50th District. I am delighted to be here to honor Mary today and send her off with a warm farewell. Mary and I met during Mimi Method's campaign, and it was a situation that was unfortunate, but it brought us closer. It was a bad situation with a administrator's son throwing an egg at Mary, and I'm choking because we wasn't expecting that, to walk out of an office after 9 o'clock, I think it might have been 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, something like that. It was late. And so, you know, the unfortunate thing in that situation brought us closer. I didn't know this woman. She didn't know me. But I drove way down from Morgan City to spend a day with her to see what was going on in Lafayette. That was, how many years ago?
2018.
Lord have mercy. I'm saying all of that because the Louisiana Democratic Party needs to focus on certain DPECs around the state that are doing good work. The party leadership needs to give contracts, invest in those DPECs to mimic what the state should look like. And they're just, they haven't gotten there. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is my hope, but not only my hope, it's my dream, my tenacity to bring this woman back to Louisiana with a contract.
I'll take it.
I know you will. That's what I'm bringing to the table. So that means I gotta do something. Guess what that is? Anybody gotta?
Run for office.
Oh. Oh. Okay, so now that that's over and I spilled the beans on that situation, you know, I just wanna keep my focus on Mary. When she leaves, I'm gonna be calling her on a regular basis. I'm gonna share my tenacity with her, just as I have for so many years since 2018. And this relationship hasn't stopped. It's just gonna continue and grow. And so I wanna say to all of you that are in this room today, just like we are today, have gathered here to send Mary off, we're gonna gather again. And if you invite me to Lafayette, I'm coming for any meeting. So I just wanna say, Mary, I love you. I love your family, your husband, everyone. And I wanna buy your house.
We're talking. Exactly. We got an audience. I got a question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And it's a total question.
Uh-huh.
You know me that I'm focused on reality. And I'm thinking in this moment what my daddy always used to say. He always used to say, but he was born in 1907, so take that into context. He used to say, politics and a nickel to get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, you were very active in Mimi's campaign.
Yeah.
Mimi is an extraordinarily qualified, accomplished human being.
Right.
You take the votes she got
Almost
and
18%.
add in all the other Democratic votes, and she still did not get half the
not get
votes
there.
that, not even half the votes that Clay Higgins got.
No, he got 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got
He got
52.
136,000.
Yeah,
She got
absolutely.
like 40,000. And even if you added up all the Democrats that voted, there's still less than half of what he got.
Right.
So that's the challenge.
Yeah.
The challenge is not issues or politics or anything like that. The challenge is unseating someone who is connected, a bully, really loved by people for irrational reasons that we cannot even affect. I know with Trump's first term, when they started talking about getting rid of Medicaid, one of my friends came to me and he said, I got Medicaid, what am I gonna do? And I said to him, it's part of the plan. If you don't have it and you die off, they don't have to give you anything anymore.
Yeah.
And then he went right back to loving match.
Yeah.
And now, he is gonna cook. Okay? But he still doesn't like it. So we're not dealing with rationality, we're dealing with a total lack of education, total lack of connection with reality. And so, if Mimi couldn't do well, how can anyone do well against that machine?
I will tell you that Mimi was an incredibly qualified legislator. She was a challenging candidate.
Yes.
She was a woman. I was her campaign manager. I wasn't very involved in her campaign. I was her campaign manager. Mike quit the campaign and Mimi needed a campaign manager. I said, I'm not a campaign manager. She said, I kept saying that, and then she gave me a check and said, I need somebody. So I will say a couple of things. That was challenging because she did what she wanted. And there are things in politics that you do whether you want to or not. Whether you want to or not. And so that was one thing, and I think that I'm reading what she says almost daily. She's posting on Facebook. She's posting phenomenal things. She is a brilliant person. If we could get her to be a brilliant campaigner, or not her, but someone like Mimi to be a brilliant campaigner. And I'm thinking of two candidates right here who do both.
Yes.
They do both. There's so many things about a campaign. That's one thing. Another thing is precinct organizing. If someone came to your house and talked to you, Tia's gonna have to reach out to independents after she wins the primary, because that's where she's gonna get over the top. She has to reach out to you. Democrats are gonna have to reach out to independents, no parties. Again, if you are registered anything but Democrat, before the primary, make sure to change your affiliation. You can change it back right after the election, but precinct organizing. So if you go to your precinct and you talk to every Democrat in your precinct, and they know you, and they start asking you, like Nell does. Nell's my neighbor. Who do I vote for? How do I get my, who do I vote for? Tell me about the amendments. Hello, Kathy. Stuff like that. Those are some of the things that will push you closer to that. I will tell you too that I always said money wins elections. I'm sorry. Kamala Harris in 100 days could not have won that election. I'll tell you, I sat next to Pat Irons and she said a black woman can't win this election before it was even a thing, before we were even thinking that she was going to be the candidate. She raised $1 billion. Money doesn't always win elections because
Still
people
didn't
have
have
these
it.
irrational thoughts about
From
elections.
what's his
So
name?
sitting down and
From
talking
Musk.
to your neighbor is where it's going to happen. Enough money.
And
Yeah.
being heard over the opponent.
Yeah, but continuing.
Who
to talk
heard
to your
Mimi
neighbors.
over Clay?
So the reason I know how to do precinct organizing is
Nobody.
because in Colorado, you caucus with your neighbors in your precinct, and then you elect 2 elected officials who are, or technically they are elected officials as precinct captains, and they go about every quarter at least throughout the year, throughout this election cycle, and they talk to their neighbors or they bring them information. We are undereducated about elections in Louisiana. The fact that Tia LeBrun was after Leslie LeBlanc, and Leslie LeBlanc was not anywhere near the candidate that Tia was, but because she was the first Democrat on the ballot, they picked her. You can't pick the first Democrat on the ballot. You have to be educated about who's on the ballot. So those are some things I would say about elections, is that it takes more than money. It takes more than, it takes more than money, and it takes a really savvy candidate. You have to have political savvy if you're gonna try to win an election.
Right.
That's what I think. There are some people over here who might disagree with me, or might agree with some of it, but.
And willing to be coached by someone who knows politics.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
and Mary too, remember, we were in your truck riding home from somewhere,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking about the money and how to convince people to give. And what I told her was, what the people really need to do is contribute to those people that they agree with more times than not, because they believe they can do the job, not because they believe they can win.
Yeah.
And that money pushes that person forward, no matter what is in their bank account, you have helped someone who you believe in to move forward.
And Tia's gonna remember you when you call her up on the phone, you call her office on the phone, she's gonna remember that you spoke to her. This was a very fun campaign, that you spoke to her and that you pushed her over the line. So those are some things that I believe about politics, and I don't think I'm wrong. I really don't think I'm wrong. So, I'll give you the floor.
I'll start. So, I know some of you, my name is Amay Dominique, and this is Matthew Isaac and Ann Oye, my wife. I wanted to, we're gonna talk about Mary, but I wanted to take the opportunity to let y'all know we are the faces behind organizing the rallies. And so we appreciate all of your support. And if anybody wants to help out more, that's great. I know Susie has put us in touch with a keyboardist who's going to help with music. Sorry. And a young, well, how old is Garland? A man came up and said, hey, I'll help you with your sound. His name is Garland. And so now we have a good sound system. So we got real microphones and real speakers, and so people can hear us. And so we're growing, and I want us to be as part of that 3.5%, 5%. So on June 14th, we had 300 or 400 people. In August 2nd is probably the next biggest opportunity. I know it's hot here, but who knows? We can get 100 or 200. But every time we go out, it builds and it makes a difference. And I want to thank y'all. Now.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because at this last one, some people got misinformed about when and where the rally was going to be, to make sure that the publicity goes out. And I think we have channels of communication that should work. You have somebody putting out a flyer that has, because the flyer, it didn't have the time.
I didn't know that till afterwards. So this is how we've been doing it. There's an event created on Facebook page. You can go to the public page of Indivisible Acadiana. You can go to the private page of Indivisible Acadiana. If any of y'all are Ladies Leaning Left, it'll be there. If any of y'all are friends with me or Matthew, it'll be on our Facebook pages. It's listed in the weekly Salon.
Yeah, in the weekly newsletter.
The weekly newsletter. Yeah. So if
I don't know how people got misinformed. I heard about it at the rally, but
I'm not sure. There was one flyer or picture and it didn't
have the time and date, and people got confused.
So we are right. So we'll be diligent in making sure, before it's put out there, that everything's there, where it is, the time, etc.
But there's always somebody who says, I didn't hear about this.
Right.
Come on now.
But, just.
I know.
It just want to raise that.
No, I appreciate it.
And it's not a criticism. The rallies have been great, and I notice they keep getting better.
And there's the 10th one, our 10th rally is coming up this week. We've done 10 since,
So Matthew and Emma, tell us now, right now, when is about the 10th one?
The 10th one is this Thursday at Cameron University.
Okay, this is the one, because I thought the one that was Saturday was at Four Corners. No?
No.
Oh, see, I was confused too.
You were in New Iberia.
Yeah, see, I thought that one was Friday, and then when the one on New Iberia came up, I apologize.
That's okay.
What time is the one at Four Corners?
4:30. And then after that is Vote's monthly meeting, monthly gathering. So it's kind of time, we may cut it off after an hour and a half, because they don't last 2 full hours anyway. But Vote's monthly meeting is at 6 p.m. at
And I'm told they're going to have chicken fettuccine.
Yes.
So I encourage you to go to the vote.
It's good too. Food's good.
So,
He is a welcome.
so do you think you understand how you can find out where our rallies are? with the Indivisible, Ladies Leaning Left, my
And the
Facebook
Salon
page,
newsletter.
Matthew's,
Facebook.
Facebook, and some of y'all are probably friends with Ann Oye also. She'll have it on her page. Yes, Rubia?
Yeah, I like that, the last rally, down at Pritchard Point, you guys had a mobilize.us on there. And I think we need to, bring that up a lot in meetings
Yeah,
and
if
on
you
our
sign up
Facebook
on
pages.
Mobilize for these rallies, you get automated reminders.
Yes.
Mobilize.us, it's
It's like a conglomerate. It's like
It's under Indivisible.
Yeah.
it's like Indivisible's online registration.
It covers the whole, you can go to a map and pick out Lafayette, you can find it by zip code. It tells you where all the protests are being organized and where they're going to be. But put that on your, like pin that on your Facebook page. The time that we did the, I don't know, the one before last anyway, there were a number of young people there. Where are the young people? And so I asked this group, I said, how did you find out? And they found out through word of mouth. It was no King's Day. And they found out by word of mouth mostly. But then a couple of young people said, we found out online. And I said, well, where online? And they found out through Mobilize. So you don't have, people are, I don't know, people are like, well, do I belong to Indivisible? I don't. Maybe I don't have that. Maybe I don't look at that. Maybe I don't get that. But Mobilize kind of pulls it all together.
We'll put that
So
on
let's
the,
pin it and put it in the newsletter and just get it out there.
And then you
I'll
get
put
the
it in
automated
tonight.
reminders.
Good.
If you sign up
Yes,
there too.
it's great. It
Automated.
really is.
Is there information going out, for instance, on Instagram?
We started a little bit on Instagram.
That's where you're gonna get a lot of young people.
Yes.
There-
Except that I don't
none
know
of them
them.
are on Facebook.
I mean, I can go where they go, but I don't know them.
They only go on Facebook to check on their parents
That's it.
and grandparents.
Yeah.
Really goes to check on you.
She goes back to school and she's friends with a lot of young people who have not participated in, voting and stuff like that. So she's put together a group, a private text group. And she's feeding those kids the information about these rallies. And that's why they're starting to come. So she'd be a really good person to kind of do that in a more formal way, I'm just throwing that out there. She's well connected with.
Well, she and her husband are picking the songs they're picking the songs for the next one, so we've got musical directors now.
Right.
I mean, which is good
This
because that's
is a room full of doers. This is the people who show up. We have to get each other's contact information because we have 15 minutes and we have cake.
Okay, start.
And we don't want her to leave.
I would say let's do the cake.
You just trying
Yeah.
to That's right. Rachel made me a cake. So.
I want to say I met Mary during Mimi's campaign, and then weren't you here? And then you left, and then you came back.
No, I didn't leave. No.
Well, then maybe I met you before.
I think so.
Yeah, because you went to Colorado and then you came back. I remember you were gone a little bit.
No, I moved here 11 years ago. And
Really?
stayed here.
She's not even moving now. She said she's going to.
She just wanted
It's
a party.
bad dream. It's a bad dream when I wake up.
She just wanted us to throw her a party.
But y'all, I'm an introvert.
But think about it, you guys. Does it make sense? Nobody moves to Kansas, do they?
I am moving to my children. I am moving to my children, and I partially. My mother and my sisters are here, and this is hard to do.
All your sisters.
All my sisters, a lot of my sisters. Yeah.
But she's been a good mentor for me, and I'm like.
And a good
Dustin,
friend.
A good friend like Dustin, like, Mary, who do I need? Who do I need? Give me those names. Give me those names. Give me those phone numbers. Who do I gotta contact?
Yeah.
So I'm really gonna miss her, and my fear is like, oh my God, there's gonna be a hole in our activism community. But we got a lot of good people here, so
Yeah.
it might take 10 of us
It won't take 10
to
of
fill
you.
your
It
shoes.
won't take 10 of you.
Okay, 5, but we're gonna do it. But I'm gonna miss you,
Me too.
and I'll be talking to you a lot. Yeah, Matthew's jealous that I'm friends with you.
Yeah, I found out like you guys talk more than I thought you did.
You already know all the information. I'm just giving her information and I'm talking to her too.
I don't know, Matthew
But she
and
calls
May
me.
talk
Give her
a
more than
lot.
you give me.
Yeah, but she calls me, she asks me.
See, you gotta ask.
You gotta fight for her.
But thank y'all for all your support, and if anybody, has a question, come up and get my phone number, I'll give it to you, and if you wanna help with the rallies, we appreciate any help. I've been amazed to see the people turn out, and it does give me hope. There are Democrats here, and we're finding each other, and we don't need to feel so alone. Thank you.
All right.
You wanna say anything else?